All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I wanted to quickly touch on the DeAndre Hopkins situation. As we all know, the Jets missed out on Odell Beckham. He signed that one-year contract worth up to $18 million, $15 million guaranteed. As cool as it would have been to see, Odell playing for the New York Jets next season, it's just too much money. That's my opinion here. Like, that, I'm not saying I'm right or anything like that, but for me, if I was running the New York Jets, or even just as a fan here, I'm looking at Joe Douglas passing on that, and I'm not losing sleep over it. $15 million for a player that not only missed the entire season. The reason why he missed the entire season was because previous surgery on a lower body injury, and we're pretty solid at the wide receiving room. Like I look at wide receiver and I'm saying to myself, like, we're okay here. We're okay. Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman. We still have the NFL draft. There's still, guys out in the free agency market, and the big superstar, DeAndre Hopkins here. And I've gotten a couple messages in the last 24, really since Beckham signed with Baltimore, like, hey man, do you think the Jets are going to now pivot and maybe try to make a move to go get DeAndre from Arizona, a guy who's obviously on the trading block? Now, there has been a couple of rumored teams to be interested. The Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots. I have seen some small rumblings of the New York Giants. We'll see how it plays out. But I got to be honest, I like Hopkins. I think he's a really good player, despite him missing a section of time last year. What he missed, I think it was either 4 or 6 weeks due to PED use, right? So he was suspended. He is 30 years old. I believe he will be 31 by the time next season rolls around. I still view Hopkins as an above average wideout. I do think wherever he lands, he will definitely help that team. I believe he's set to make just under $20 million in 2023. And then in 2024, it's just under 15 mil. So the good news, you have a really good wide receiver on the roster for 2 seasons. The bad news, it's a ton of cash that you have to shell out. And much like Beckham, me kind of not really minding Joe Douglas passing here, it's just a lot of money. Look, if the wide receiving room was completely desolate for this Jets team, I would say, hey, you know what? Let's flip a 4th round pick. Let's flip a 3rd round pick and see what's going on with Arizona, because DeAndre would be the only guy that we have, right? Or maybe we have one player and that's it. But again, I don't want to go through the list of names again and waste your time, but I feel like we have legitimately 4 solid options. 4 solid options right now at the wide receiving position. I don't want to be in a situation to where we're adding another guy into the mix. Now we're paying, what was it, $19.5 million for a guy coming into the building that's going to be playing a position that is 100% reliant on the quarterback getting him the football. And let's face it, the expectation of it's not done yet, it's not official, but the expectation is that it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not going, at 39 years old, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be throwing it, 70 times a game. There's only one football to go around. Also keeping in mind that Saleh, that Hackett, these guys want to build off of the running game. They want to really utilize these backs. Yes, DeAndre Hopkins would make the Jets better. Yes, he would come in and do a great job. I'm a big fan of DeAndre. I love his skill set. I love, his entire career. I just don't love the contract right now. I just don't think the Jets can afford that. And then the unfortunate cherry on top is that the Jets would have to go trade something to Arizona. And we're looking at our, draft class right now, we're solid. But if we're factoring in the Aaron Rodgers trade, what's Green Bay going to get? Assuming they get, I'm going to leave 13 out of it. Let's assume the Jets trade a 2nd round pick, right? We don't have a 3rd round pick. We have an extra 2nd, no 3rd. Now what are we giving to Arizona? A 4th round pick, a 5th round pick. Like, oh man, all of a sudden we're taking on this big deal, trading away a draft picks. I'm not sure exactly what the market is. The rumored trade compensation is just one mid round pick, a day 2 pick. But as of right now, Arizona is not getting that because other teams are viewing this contract as, a pretty big hurdle and a pretty big roadblock in this entire situation. I will say this though, there has been a report that DeAndre he's willing to rework the deal. The problem, it's up in the air on if he's going to take a pay cut. So, of course, a contract restructure is great. You can get that number from 19 down to whatever it is, 10, 8, 7. But if he's not willing to take a pay cut, that $19 million is still going to be owed to DeAndre at some point in time, whether it's the year after that, however Joe Douglas wants to split it up. So that's, again, I love Hopkins. Love the player, love the highlights, love the career, love the stats, love what he did in Houston. I just don't think the Jets can afford it right now. I would rather take the money and bring back Quan Alexander. I would take the money and find out bring in a legitimate starting center for this team. Ben Jones, Connor McGovern, however much it's going to cost for, either one of those guys. I think we have to get that position figured out. I still want a little bit more depth on the O-line, maybe a third safety. The Jets right now are not a complete team, a perfect team. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And this is not to say that, hey, if news comes out tomorrow, the Jets land DeAndre Hopkins for whatever it is. I'm not going to come on here and be, negative. I'm not going to be super, super angry. Of course, DeAndre is going to make this team a lot better. But for me, I just don't know if adding yet another wide receiver to this room is really going to be worth the price tag. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.